Well, turning now to American college campuses and a new study that shows a decline in young transgender adults. The number of college students who identify as trans has dropped about 50% in the last 2 years. CBN medical reporter Lori Johnson spoke with the lead author of the study to find out why he believes the numbers are falling.
An analysis of several surveys, including one looking at more than 50,000 Gen Zers from about 250 colleges across America, shows more students see themselves as heterosexual now than in recent years. In his report, The Decline of Trans and Queer Identity Among Young Americans, Professor Eric Kaufmann says the number of people in these groups first began rising in 2010 and continued upward until 2023 when it peaked. Since then, it's dropped by about half, from nearly 7% to under 4%. He adds college freshmen are a lot less likely than seniors to identify as trans.
If the youngest cohort represent the future more than the seniors who are graduating, then yes, that would seem to indicate that these trends will continue. Very hard to know what the end point is. I mean, are we going to return to where we were in 2010? We're not near to that yet, but certainly the direction of travel is towards a decline.
Kaufmann says while a couple of years ago, college students considered sexual fluidity hip, campuses are now experiencing what he calls a vibe shift.
Much of this just seems to be about tastes and fashions, that these non-conforming gender and sexual identities are less fashionable, less cool, maybe among young people than they were a few years ago. That seems to be the story.
He points out a number of young trans adults are genuinely confused, and one reason for the drop could be better mental health among young people. Kaufmann says this research could signal a reduction in surgeries and hormone injections, scarring young people for life.
One of the hopes here is that the demand for those procedures will fall as this trend beds down, and that if this continues, we should see less chemical and physical transitioning. That would be a prediction.
Some critics say that while the study presents interesting data, it doesn't give a clear-cut cause behind the decline. Kaufmann's X post about his new report has been viewed by more than 17 million people, with pushback from liberals,
people on the left who say, well, this is happening because of Trump and what's been happening on legislation around trans,
and conservatives.
People who are worried that if we think things are improving, then the political will is going to decline to reform, for example, gender ideology in schools, or whether schools have to inform parents of when kids transition and all of this sort of thing.
Nevertheless, Kaufmann stands by his analysis. Lori Johnson, CBN News.